Mac and cheese. Macaroni and cheese is the most consumed comfort food in the United States, and its origin is disputed between Thomas Jefferson and an enslaved cook named James Hemings, who traveled with Jefferson to France and learned French pasta techniques. Jefferson brought a pasta machine back from Europe and served macaroni and cheese at a White House dinner in 1802. Kraft introduced the boxed version in 1937 during the Great Depression and sold 8 million boxes in the first year. Americans now buy over 1 million boxes of Kraft mac and cheese every single day. A dish served at the White House in 1802 became a Depression-era survival food that turned into the most purchased boxed product in American grocery history. Grilled cheese sandwich. The grilled cheese sandwich, as Americans know it, was created during World War II when the U.S. government distributed processed American cheese and white bread to military cooks who needed to feed soldiers quickly and cheaply. The combination of buttered bread griddled with melted cheese spread nationally through school cafeteria programs in the 1950s. The debate about what cheese constitutes a proper grilled cheese has never been resolved. American cheese melts perfectly, but contains less than 51% actual cheese by FDA definition. Real cheddar tastes better, but does not melt as smoothly. Gruyere melts beautifully, but costs more than most people want to spend on a sandwich. Every cheese choice is a compromise, and everyone has strong opinions about which compromise is acceptable. Mozzarella sticks. Mozzarella sticks were invented in American restaurants in the 1970s as appetizers specifically designed to be ordered while waiting for the main course. The concept of breading cheese and deep frying it produces a result where the exterior sets before the interior fully melts, creating the cheese pull effect that became the defining visual of the dish. PGI Fridays standardized the format nationally in the 1980s and distributed the recipe to their entire chain simultaneously. The cheese pull became a marketing tool before social media existed. Advertisements showing mozzarella sticks being pulled apart were among the most effective food advertisements of the 1980s. A stretching cheese visual sold more appetizers than any flavor description could. Cheese fondue. Cheese fondue was declared the national dish of Switzerland in the 1930s by the Swiss Cheese Union as a deliberate marketing campaign to increase cheese consumption during economic hardship. The campaign was so successful that fondue became internationally associated with Swiss identity within a generation. The Swiss Cheese Union later became involved in one of the largest financial scandals in Swiss food industry history when it was discovered they had spent millions promoting fondue internationally, including allegedly bribing Olympic officials to serve it at the 1988 Calgary Olympics. A marketing campaign for cheese became a national identity and then a financial scandal. Switzerland has complicated feelings about all of this. Philly Cheesesteak. The Philly cheesesteak was invented in Philadelphia in the 1930s by Pat Olivieri, a hot dog vendor who threw beef scraps on his grill one day and put them on a hoagie roll. The cheese was added later. The authentic debate centers on which cheese is correct. Cheese Whiz, the processed cheese sauce, is considered the traditional choice by Philadelphia purists. Provolone is considered acceptable. American cheese is tolerated. Any other cheese is considered an act of cultural aggression. Pat's King of Steaks and Geno's Steaks, located directly across the street from each other in South Philadelphia, have been competing since 1966. Tourists visit both. Locals have already chosen sides and do not discuss it. Cheesy scalloped potatoes. Scalloped potatoes appear on more American holiday tables than almost any other side dish. Thinly sliced potatoes baked in cream and cheese until the top layer crisps and the interior becomes soft enough to serve with a spoon. The argument about whether scalloped potatoes and au gratin potatoes are the same dish has never been resolved. Technically, scalloped uses cream sauce without cheese, and au gratin adds cheese on top. Most Americans use the terms interchangeably. Most French people would find this conversation exhausting. Every American family has a version and considers every other family's version slightly wrong. The holiday table scalloped potato debate has the same energy as the stuffing versus dressing argument and is equally unresolvable. Fettuccine Alfredo. Fettuccine Alfredo does not exist in Italy. The dish was invented in Rome in 1914 by a restaurant owner named Alfredo di Laelio, who created it for his pregnant wife who had lost her appetite. The original recipe was simply pasta, butter, and Parmesan. American tourists Mary Pickford and Douglas Fairbanks ate it in Rome in 1920 and brought the recipe back to the United States, where American restaurants added heavy cream because it was cheaper and easier than proper emulsification technique. The cream version spread globally as authentic Italian pasta. Italian restaurants in Italy do not serve fettuccine alfredo. If you order it in Rome, you will receive a confused look and possibly an educational conversation you did not ask for. Loaded nachos. Nachos were invented in 1943 in Piedras Negras, Mexico, by a maitre d' named Ignacio Anaya, who created them for a group of American military wives who arrived at his restaurant after closing time, when the chef had gone home. He took what was available, tortilla chips and cheese, put them under the broiler, added jalapenos, and named the dish after his nickname, Nacho. The loaded American version, with ground beef, sour cream, guacamole, and beans, was developed in American sports bars in the 1970s. A Mexican maitre d's improvised late-night snack became the defining food of American sports viewing culture. Super Bowl Sunday is the single largest nacho consumption event in human history. Deep dish pizza. Chicago deep dish pizza was invented at Pizzeria Uno in Chicago in 1943 by Ike Sewell, who wanted to create a pizza substantial enough to constitute a full meal rather than a snack. The crust is pressed up the sides of a deep pan. The toppings are layered in reverse order with cheese on the bottom and crushed tomatoes on top to prevent the cheese from burning during the long baking time. New York considers Chicago deep dish a casserole rather than pizza. Chicago considers New York pizza a cracker with toppings. This argument has been ongoing since 1943 and has generated more passionate online debate than most political issues. Both cities are completely sincere and neither is entirely wrong. Spinach artichoke dip. Spinach artichoke dip was invented at American casual dining restaurants in the 1980s as a hot appetizer that could be prepared in advance, held in a warming oven, and served in under 2 minutes. It contains spinach, artichoke hearts, cream cheese, sour cream, Parmesan, and mozzarella, combined in proportions that ensure maximum cheese pull per scoop. The dish became so universally popular that it appeared on virtually every casual dining chain menu in America within a decade of its introduction. Americans who claim not to like vegetables consistently eat spinach artichoke dip without complaint because the cheese-to-vegetable ratio makes the vegetables undetectable. This is considered a success by everyone involved. Fried cheese curds. Fried cheese curds are a Wisconsin institution that the rest of America discovered slowly. Fresh cheese curds squeak when you bite them because the protein structure is still intact. This squeaking is considered the primary quality indicator. Curds that do not squeak are not fresh enough. Wisconsin takes this seriously enough that cheese curd freshness is a point of local pride. Battered and deep-fried until golden, the exterior sets while the interior melts into a molten pocket. State fair attendance in Wisconsin correlates with fried cheese curd consumption in a relationship that food economists describe as statistically significant. A dairy byproduct that squeaks became the defining food of an entire state's identity. Cheddar Bay biscuits. Red Lobster's Cheddar Bay biscuits were introduced in 1992 and immediately became more famous than anything on the restaurant's actual menu. They are served free with every meal, and the chain goes through millions of them per week. Red Lobster has faced significant financial difficulties over the decades, including a bankruptcy filing. The Cheddar Bay biscuits have never been implicated in any of these difficulties. If anything, food writers have suggested that the biscuits are the primary reason many customers visit Red Lobster at all. A free bread item became the most recognized product of a seafood restaurant chain. Red Lobster eventually released the biscuit mix for home baking. It became one of the best-selling baking mixes in American grocery stores. Cheesy Ranch Fries. Cheesy Ranch Fries combine two of the most popular flavors in American fast food, cheese sauce and ranch dressing, on top of French fries with bacon crumbled over everything. Ranch dressing is the most consumed condiment in the United States, outselling every other dressing by a margin that condiment industry analysts describe as not close. Cheese sauce on fries became standard at American sports bars and fast food chains in the 1980s. Combining them on a single plate of fries was inevitable, given how dominant both flavors are in American food culture. Cheesy ranch fries are not a sophisticated dish. They are an accurate description of what a significant portion of America wants to eat while watching sports.